All right, let's just do it. I believe in you guys.
Yo, what's
Yeah.
up, everybody?
Oh,
How y'all doing? This is the New York City Nobodies. We're outside, you know what I mean? Handling business remotely. Right now we got the Prince of Queens, aka Cesar Hernandez in the house. How you doing, bro? What's good?
Listen, I'm good right now. I'm actually no, actually I'm not too good. I'm
Nah, you were gonna do it a
heartbroken.
couple minutes ago,
I'm
my
a
guy.
heartbroken that Guatemala just got eliminated in qualifying in the worst way possible. My dad's Guatemalan, so
Yeah,
and
got
they
you,
have
got
some
you.
promise. El Salvador, my mom's side, there is no promise. I'm not good at
Yeah,
all. I expected it. But we're
I
rolling
take that.
here. NYCFC's in the playoffs. That's what matters the most to me.
Definitely. And in the other corner, we got our favorite bud tender out here doing his thing, just fucking slinging them packs, bro. Slinging them apes, slinging them edibles, slinging them vapes. Is your favorite bud tender out here? Chopped cheese. What's good, my guy?
uh, I'm alive. The boys beat Charlotte, so
Yeah.
that's probably as much as we'll talk about the playoffs right now because this is an emergency
Ooh, man,
podcast.
I have a
Because
feeling someone's gonna be coming in hot tonight, boy.
you know, you
Nah,
know,
man, this is not no, and I think this is because put it this way, it was such an important issue that it really hijacked what we were going to speak about tonight because for our audience, we have all intents and purposes in recounting our experience last Friday at Billy's, for game three of the playoff series against Charlotte. But something happened today that really, really caught our attention and we had to speak on it. And that issue is the MLS owners vote to now one, change our calendar from August to May, and two, creating six divisions within MLS. What the fuck, bro?
So before we go into all the pretty things we're going to talk about,
Right.
we already knew there was going to be a schedule change. That is absolutely no surprise.
Yeah.
They had been talking about it for the last weeks that they were going to announce it, or they were going to discuss it and consider it. We know they weren't going to consider it. They're just going to go for it. And
Right.
we know that regardless of whether you're an MLS lover or you've watched MLS for a while or you're just getting into MLS, I think the consensus is that the next level of this league is to get the best signings in the world. And that's the best
Right.
way to get that is to align with the biggest markets in the world, the transfer windows. However, we always knew as people who go to games every week that there was going to be the big issue. This is not pretty sunny Spain, pretty sunny Europe, where you're going to have much fair weather throughout the year. This
Well, at least in
is
Western Europe, yeah.
this is Canada. This is the United States, northern United States, where it's diabolical weathers. And whether we have this window changing or not, we know that this was going to be a big player that's not really going to make the move as glamorous. So,
Yeah.
yeah, transition into that. What do you think, Nico?
Nico, I know you got something to say about this.
is this a big deal? What's happening?
This is the biggest magnitude
My man, like you
Is
you
announcement
were coming
in
in hot a few minutes
decades.
ago. What happened?
it? Well, I don't think MLS has ever made a wrong decision, if you ask me. No, what do I think? I think a lot of things. Sure, it should be done, but the reasons it was done for is wrong, and the divisions is dumb. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense because it's going to be imbalanced no matter what way you put it. Because some teams are just garbage, and they're always going to be garbage. But all that being said, just I feel bad for the fans, man. The boners are gonna do great. The league's gonna do great, but the fans are gonna suffer, and I think that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, the season's gonna start in July." It's like, yeah, and then you're you're playing, and then there's just this random ass 2 month break in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I think what really just drove it home for me was at the start of the 2027 season or 26 season,
27.
27.
they're gonna have a mini season with 14 games, and it's like, bro, like as a professional sports organization or league, how could you even put that out and like expect to be taken seriously?
Yeah.
14 games, like what are we doing? Like at this point, like there shouldn't even be a season. Just make it a tournament. All the teams just play for the cup. That's it.
That's it. I
It's
mean,
stupid.
Like,
Anything that
yep.
happens that season, any MVP, any goal leader, it's an asterisk. There's just there's no other
there's
way
no
to
other way
put
to
it.
put it.
It's stupid and it's dumb.
Yeah. I think
And
personally, boys, I mean, listen, I mean, I remember being around this league from its inception. You know, there was a lot of things that the regular soccer fan in this country, and I think this is the reason why so many people got turned off from MLS, is that this constant quote unquote Americanization of the sport,
The
right?
shootouts.
Shootouts, fucking, people couldn't fucking wrap their heads around the idea that sometimes a soccer game would end in a draw. They couldn't, it was just so many things. And I think that, there was so many efforts to kind of Americanize the sport, right? Because we don't have promotion and relegation in MLS. We don't have, we don't have this season, that we don't align with the European season, right? That, just these things alone we're making us, standouts in the world for not the right reasons, right? Because guess what? Now people started saying MLS is a joke. This is a retirement league. This is this is that. Why is it worth coming to the United States, right? And I think now it's going to be a bit more difficult to do so, right? Because obviously, as Cesar had alluded to a couple minutes ago, this is the Northeast United States, where it'll start snowing in October some seasons. So you really mean to tell me that, we're gonna be playing, despite this, whatever break they want to say, guys, January can get 20 degrees, 25 degrees at match time. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I've personally played in that weather and it is not pleasant. That ball will feel like a cement brick at your feet. So I really think that, for the reason stated, and now that they, I was listening to Call It What You Want, with Charlie Davies
I
and
love
these other,
that. I love that pod.
right.
That's
There's
one of my
pretty dope
favorites.
podcasts. And Charlie Davies has said something interesting. I think, it's more because you want to bring the big name players over here. You want to bring those superstars here, and you want them to be, you don't want them coming right after their season ends. You want to bring them in which is a valid point, but honestly, this is something y'all should have done 30 years ago.
I mean, so just to educate the crowd a little bit. So we know that, well, before I do that, actually, we know that this is a move that had to happen. And at the end of the day, I don't want people to think, and you should not think, whether you're pro MLS, you're anti MLS. I've said this with other content creators. There shouldn't be the war with MLS watchers, only Europe watchers, because I feel like in the last 10 years, especially, it's been merging more, which is awesome. We love the beautiful game for what it is, and that's it. Doesn't matter whether it's in America, in Europe, in Latin America, in Asia, wherever, right? We knew that this move was going to happen, undoubtedly. But one thing the billionaires aren't recognizing are the ones that are making this league grow, are the fans. And this is not good for the fan. This is going to be a bigger obstacle for the fans, less appealing. I don't think many people should be against making it the transfer window to bring in the bigger players and laxing the salary cap. However, they're just really just ignoring the elephant in the room, which is this is going to be an unbearable way to view the sport, to view MLS games. And listen, to make it sound less harsh, of course, be realistic at the same time, the break is between mid-December to mid-February. That's 2 months. Those 2 months, usually, we don't even play in MLS, which is kind of how it is nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, those 2 months are going to literally take all the momentum of a league run.
Mm-hmm.
I know like Germany does a month, right? That's fair. And like other European leagues do a month, but 2 months is a different story.
Yeah, that's a bit excessive too.
And listen, even then, like you're coming back, it's mid-February. Like you said, it's gonna be terrible conditions. And I know we don't play in those months regardless of that. So the billionaires or the people who back it, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, but you don't play anyway. However, this is gonna change the whole setup of how things are done. And listen, this is fine if we had the same setup we have now for the league. But like Nico said earlier, we didn't really introduce it. I mean, we didn't really say how it works, but they're trying to introduce the division side of it.
Oh my God.
Now that is not, now you're throwing everything off completely. Because again, not every division is going to be the same, I guess, weight. It's not going to carry the same weight. The Northeast might be much more stronger than, let's say, the Southwest. right?
Like even the
Houston,
West Coast, like
Austin,
imagine the
Yeah.
Galaxy,
Ga-
LAFC, like
so you
that's
have what is
crazy.
it? The Southwest would be the 3 California teams and the
Hmm.
2 Texas teams, right? Or
Yeah.
the 3 Texas
3
teams
Texas teams and the
and
three
three
Southern California
California,
teams.
and that's completely different. Your Houston's, your Austins have been bad for a while.
Yeah.
Your Dallases have been bad for a while, and then you have the 3 California teams who are killing it, and then you
Yeah.
have the Northeast, who is us, who is Red Bull, who usually
Philly,
competes
New
somewhat.
England.
Philly, New England,
Toronto,
man,
Montreal.
that's going to be horrendous conditions to play
Yeah.
in.
That's gonna be awful.
And now you want, well, one thing I'm not really too against with division stuff is playing every other team once. That's actually kind of cool because I feel we haven't had that in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
If
I would
ever.
like to play every team every year. I feel like that's something that
But you see, but that's
the league
something
is
right there
lacking
that
some.
aligns us more to Europe, right? Because you go to every European league, you playing everybody home and away.
Let's Caesar finish this point
If
real
you
quick. Let's
really
Caesar
want to
finish
get
this
that
point real quick.
European flavor into the
Like
league,
it's just
do that.
no,
That's gonna be far
not
easier than
good. But
implementing that. It's
let's
gonna be
Caesar
far
finish
easier than
his
the
point real
schedule.
quick.
Than
Let's
the
Caesar
no,
finish
schedule.
his point.
it's all good. But yeah, yeah, no, I'm almost done. But yeah, it's a good idea. We should go one by one. But no, exactly like you said, Felix. Like that idea, I'm not too against. However, how are the logistics going to work? How are the flight delays going to work when you're a Montreal to you're traveling Montreal, Toronto, New England to New York to anywhere, and your
St.
flights are going to
Louis,
be delayed.
Cincinnati,
Your flights are
Columbus,
going to be
RSL.
screwed because of
Yeah.
all this. I guess. Listen, the billionaires think, oh, if we
Yeah.
can bring in the big stars, people will come out. Well, freaking, are you sure you're going to get 25,000 in Minnesota every game in November, in February, in March? Probably not.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's really the thing that's not being spoken about is like, so I've heard some people say like they're gonna like front load the schedules or well backload it, I guess essentially because they would play all the warm teams would have home games around that time, but it's like you can't load the schedule that way. That's just not realistic. It's not, and it's not fair. So it really makes no sense. The only thing I don't understand is like they could have just started the season earlier and then like done a little break during the transfer window in the summer so teams could like adjust and like actually go after talent. But listen, if this is the way they want to do it, it is what it is. I'll be there regardless. This isn't about me. I'll be there. I'll go to Montreal in February. I don't care. I'm a lunatic. We're lunatics. We've been here no matter what, no matter who's on the field, whether it's fucking Jesus Medina, Alexandra Mitrita, whoever's been on this team, we've been there year after year after year. So it's not about us. It's about the people who might wanted to get into the league. But now, if you're a family and you're a dad or you're a mom and you want to bring your kids during the school year and it's
Yep.
cold and all this stuff, and it's just like a lot of factors that the people who own the league don't care about. For their bottom line, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure Don Garber is doing great. That's great for him. Congratulations. But the fringe MLS fan, that's who I'm worried about in this like not fringe, more so the people who really want to get involved, but now maybe this might
Yeah.
foil those plans because they go over the summer, their kids are home, but it's gonna change everything.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because we get this thing in this country, where MLS wanted to model itself after Major League Baseball, right? Just rode along with the schedule. I think that was something where they found that happy medium. You're not so much competing with baseball season. You're running concurrent with that, NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs, summer baseball, fall, football, going back to basketball, NBA season, right? So you're kind of not competing, but you're running concurrently with these things now. Now I think also you're going to be competing with NFL during the
Yep.
fall and the winter,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're going to be
Yep.
competing with European soccer, which is another thing. But something, I don't know if that's even a valid point because of the fact that everyone competes for viewership over there anyway. And I think they're doing pretty okay, right? And it's just the fact that you're not taking players into consideration, injuries that can pop up in colder weather situations. One silver lining is that a couple of cold weather teams,
Training.
they start their season indoors anyway. Vancouver starts indoors. Montreal starts indoors. You understand what
No,
I
they
mean?
don't.
But still, who has the luxury of being able to start indoors?
But I was gonna say this, right? Now that I'm thinking about it, does it make sense to you guys that we're gonna have a 2 month break in between the season, which is the same break that we have now? So it's like,
I
why
know.
even make it happen? I understand, of course,
Exactly.
this is a more appealing way to lax the salary cap. I get it for the world per se. But again, like Nico said, we're still a growing league. How is this going to
Mhm.
be appealing for families? You want to bring a significant other. You want to bring a family member. You want to bring your older family members. You want to bring your younger family members. This is taking all those summer games,
Mhm.
all those family outings out the window.
Yep.
It's going to
Yeah.
be much harder to do that. And I understand, of course, like now, I think, yeah, like you said, with the baseball schedule and our schedule being at the same time, I used to tell everyone, like, it's kind of perfect because it's
Mhm.
like, it's an outdoor sport, baseball, for the most part, outdoor sport, soccer, for the most part, at the time where the weather's the best in America.
Mhm.
Perfect, right? Now you're switching over the other way around. I don't think the NFL is kind of short. It's mainly from September to
What NFL is
January,
what,
and then
18 weeks plus a
yeah,
6 week
but
postseason?
we're mainly going to have the same schedule now as the NBA and the NHL. Literally from like October, from like what is it, from even before them,
Well,
really,
they
because we
said
have,
this season's gonna be starting in July.
Mhm.
well, like let's say early August, right? Because that's what I
Yeah,
normally saw. Maybe
preseason, you got to
No,
get the
it's
preseason
it,
matches in.
it's
preseason's July, preseason's
the
July, yeah.
no July's. From what I heard, it's most likely gonna be the League's Cup or something like
You know
that.
what you know what it is? It's like February. Yeah, yes. Like you know how like we have our Februaries where it's like league, where it's like Champions League or Champions Cup, where it's like your first or two games of the season.
Yeah.
So like our July is going to be our February is going to be a new July per se. March is going to be the new August.
Yeah.
You know, August is the full month of the season. March is the full month of the season. But again, like you guys said, we just have to ride this out. We have to be there for our teams, and at the end of the day, it's like that's what I tell everybody, man. Like even us that were upset earlier, like we just have to see how this actually works. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, listen, we have to also be happy. Like there's also kind of upsides to this. There is no excuse now for MLS not to reach the limits it said it's going to reach. Now all the owners have to put their money where their mouth is. You made
Yeah.
this huge change, you have to push everything, not only to make it appealing for the fan, make it appealing for the teams. No more scapegoats from CFG, no
Mhm.
more scapegoats of salary cap, no more scapegoats of nothing. You wanted this, now you got to go full at
Yeah,
it.
but Caesar, here's another thing that I'm thinking about as well, right? MLS wants to take this step, right? Which, like you said, it's debatable whether it's a good step or a step forward or a step backward, right? What I really feel is going to be a thing now. Get rid of these roster rules. If you want to take such a bold step and change the entire schedule of when you're playing your matches, get rid of the salary cap. Because if your goal with all this is to attract worldwide talent, right? You're also going to want to attract these people. Now we have a stadium because Nico, that was a conversation we kept having for how many years now? Before we got a stadium, this is something that we were talking about. What's going to attract a player to come to New York City, right? This is one less thing we're going to take off that list,
CFG
right?
has no excuse anymore.
Exactly. So
No
now,
excuse no more. There's no excuses
what's
anymore.
the only aside from that? Now that NYC it is opening up a stadium in 2027, right? What barrier is there going to be for NYC to be able to attract that top tier talent? And it's going to be these dumb fucking roster rules in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, I think if they don't change the roster rules, but they switch the schedule, they're just virtue signaling. Like they want to be taken seriously, but listen, players aren't gonna come here and play in this freezing ass weather and all this for $80,000 a year or however much they're paying some of these minimum players. Like players in these other leagues are getting paid a lot more. So
So this
I
is
don't
another.
know. We'll
My bad. Go
see.
ahead.
Nah, we'll see, but we just gotta hope it's over now. Like they did what they did, and there's nothing we could do.
Mhm.
So now it's just living with it, living with the consequences of that. It sucks, but I mean, what are we gonna do? There's literally nothing to
I,
do about it.
you know, I was going to say something, but Caesar, go ahead, man. You have the floor because you wanted to make a point, so I'll go right after you.
So what I was gonna say is now that we're saying these things that we've been saying for years and years and years,
Mhm.
the salary cap is going to be lax. It's going to be increased. It's going to. How are they going to go about it? Like how are they going to go about it? Are we going to have now 5 DPs? Are we going to now have a certain amount of the squad that can make a certain amount?
Mhm.
It's going to be, and you also have to be very careful because again, your attendance might go down,
Mhm.
right? Number two, you have to be very careful that every team. I think Nico said this earlier I was talking to him personally. Your San Jose's is not going to be the same as your LAFC.
Yeah.
They have to be very careful what they do with how they laxes because you don't want teams to overspend. You don't want teams to outcrush other teams. And again, that's what comes with moving money around, with making it a certain amount of who's going to make what. They have to be very careful. They have to go at it smart. They have basically 2 years to do this. So
Yeah,
Definitely.
there's
I
more than
think
enough time.
right. So another quote unquote Americanization of soccer that's been going on is this proposed division system. I mean, my problem has been is MLS is too big. We have 30 teams in the league now.
mhm.
The average
I think
league
it
in
should
this
stay
world,
there for a while,
yeah, the average league in this
if
world carries
ever.
20 teams, right? We could say
20
around 20,
teams, yeah.
20, 22, 20. I don't see any
Twenty-four
major
is
league
the
in the
most in
world
like
going over
It's
England.
all
24
but
teams.
kills expansion now.
But here's the thing now, right? We have a lot of teams and markets that can sustain these, multiple teams, and it's been proven once again that soccer is just going to earn you money, right? I really hate this divisional realignment thing. It's just garbage. When you place such a premium on beating divisional opponents, that means nothing. What about the opponents that are on the other side of the country who may be better than you? But fellas, one thing we're not talking about, and something that really to me was a highlight about this whole thing was the MLS paywall. Apple TV has also announced that I think after
Oh yeah.
2027, it's just going to be part of their normal
No, I think
their
it's
normal
starting.
Apple
No, it's
TV
I
starting
think
package
next
it's starting
season.
now, next season. Yeah, it's
next
Yeah.
already.
season. Yeah,
Yeah.
next season. So I think that proves two things. Putting a league behind the paywall is not going to fucking benefit
It
anybody.
was a giant failure.
It was
It
an
was a
extreme
hundred
failure. I
percent
think Apple
terrible.
TV, they're cutting their losses where it's at. And this dumb pay structure, it's just, come on. We had more, it's been proven. There was more viewership when MLS was on ESPN, was on Fox. We had great viewership. Viewership actually went down after, behind the MLS paywall, the Apple TV paywall rather, but I'm glad to see that, now more eyes are going to be on the league. I don't have to give my uncles, my logins so you can go watch the game, when NYC's playing. But I think that it's one of the better things that came out of these meetings was just now MLS won't be behind a paywall. It's going to be included as part of Apple TV. Apple TV is still kind of affordable. It's $9.99 a month, I think, but or something like that, maybe $9.99 or like $14.99. But
And what didn't they reach some kind of being Nico by being that, so I don't want to interject too
mm,
much, but didn't I think they reached some kind of agreement with FS1, well, Fox Sports, I should say.
Yeah,
mhm.
no,
So
they're
like,
gonna be broadcasting all the playoff games for the rest of the remainder of the playoffs as well. Fox, FS1, all that.
Yeah,
So I
and I
mean
mean,
that
I know
that's
that was
also
like,
an admission
yeah,
of defeat, no?
I
oh
think it
yeah,
is.
100%. I mean, they already had some kind of alliance. Like you would see this season, even like a little bit last season, much more games there.
But this is a good thing. Like if you want to go to a
Yeah,
bar and watch a team in the playoff game, they'll have FS1, they'll
exactly.
have Fox. Not every bar has Apple TV.
Exactly. And
And
that
I
was a
think they
huge
should start
problem.
to do more of that. Like next through the regular season, they should be doing that as well, not just for
Hmm.
they like do it for Leagues Cup. If you want Leagues Cup to work, if you want all these things to be taken seriously, you have to put the money behind it. And my biggest fear with this whole calendar switch and everything is I don't trust the people who are in charge of it.
Hmm.
And like, all right, so if you're gonna do this, what's gonna happen with the playoffs? So all right, there's no more conference, so no more East West, no more none of
That's
that.
gonna be a
But
completely
we will
different
be
ball game.
technically the Northeast Division, but we're
Right.
not in the like really. It's the water starts to get a little murky, and like you're gonna do this right because you want to be on the European calendar. You're gonna still do this best 2 out of 3 in the first round. Are you still gonna
Nah, that's good.
you have to get rid of these things?
Right.
Like if we're gonna be like
Yeah.
Europe, let's
Yeah.
do it. Like no, like oh this that, like do it. Like don't dip your toe in the water. Go all the way in.
Yeah.
And I'm scared that they're not willing. And a lot of people have been saying it. I don't know how much it has to do with it, but it's hard not to think that the USL has MLS sweating, and
Oh
they're
hell
starting
yeah!
to make
Come on,
decisions
of
like this. Like
course.
I
this is a
think they should
game
though. That's a
changer, and
yep.
I don't think they make this if Pro Rel isn't going to the
Absolutely
USL.
not.
This
Absolutely
does
not.
not happen. Absolutely not. Even with Messi here, he said that they should get rid of the salary cap, and listen, they're crickets on that.
Yeah.
So I just hope that the Open Cup stays. I don't want to. I wonder how the new Champions Cup, is going to work. Is Leagues Cup going to stay?
No,
What's
I don't
going
think
to
so.
happen with the Supporter Shield? Conferences don't exist anymore, so technically will have won a trophy that doesn't even exist. So I
Yeah.
mean, when you really just think about it, it's a lot of things have to be worked on. I'm not opposed to it fully because we're the sickos, bro. We're the MLS sickos. We're gonna be here no matter what.
Yeah.
But the exposure, and I hope if they can fix some of these salary rules, now we're talking. Because if you just do
They will.
this and you don't do
They have to.
that, then it was useless.
Yeah.
So no, that's the thing. See, now literally it's a whole restructuring. He's from right now, well, let's say 27 to maybe the end of the decade, 3-5 years, like you said, restructuring of everything. What's the playoff looking like? How do you qualify for playoffs? How do you qualify for Champions League? I've been saying it for a while. I think Leagues Cup, they've been saying it for a while. It's probably going to be gone, and it should be gone.
It should be. Yeah.
Because the reason why you had Apple TV, you had Leagues Cup, was to grow the league for the World Cup, to grow the league on that Messi wave, to make it appealing in its own special way. Well, now you don't even have to do that. Now salary cups are down.
Real quick.
What's up?
Jen wants to give her opinion on this.
Oh, I'm doing my skincare.
I was about to say that's a really weird outfit you're wearing.
My question is,
I'll answer since I'm speaking. Go ahead.
so like David Lee right now is in KC. How is he fucking feeling?
What the
fuck? With what?
No, he's
With
happy.
the shit.
He left because he wanted to be. I want to have my own.
No, but here's my
transfers.
thing. I'm like concerned for the smaller teams. Like, something that Chris was saying earlier, like resonated with me, is that we're literally in New York City, and that's what gives us an advantage with marketing because we're in New York City. But if we were in Utah, Salt Lake, whatever the fuck, or like Kansas City, that's why I was thinking, what the fuck is David Lee literally thinking right now?
So
being that now they have to probably amp up their marketing to convince people to go into the fucking rain and snow. And then, okay, so, and my last point is there's people that are making the point that, okay, people go to Buffalo games and people go to like games for Kansas City. That's because they're established and they've had this for a while. It's still a new league.
It's part of their culture.
And it's going to take a while for people to get to that certain level. And that's it. I'm just cooking. So stop kicking me out, Nico.
I'm not kicking you
well, I
out.
can answer those questions if anything. But,
she said, I'm cooking.
He doesn't know how to listen to an Ecuadorian. That's why. He doesn't know that.
He does not.
He
does not.
We got like 7 minutes left.
So yeah, no, I mean, listen, all that, like we said, it's going to come down to how they like salary caps. That's going to be the biggest, and they have to be very careful. The salary caps, they have to be very careful because, again, the marketing's going to be there. The crowd is there. Their fans are there. That doesn't have to really change. But how the power, the strengths of who they sign, the squad power. I could tell it to Chris tomorrow. He knows where I'm coming from. How the money is distributed, that's going to be the biggest difference maker. Listen, David Lee wanted this. He wanted to have his hands on his own team. He's going to get it, but now he's in the mercy.
And I'm sure he knew this was coming anyway. I'm sure.
I think writing on the wall was there for a long time coming, fellas. So
all of them did, and NYCFC voted in favor.
Let me just finish up what I was going to say. But yeah, so basically that, like, it's really going to come down to how the money is distributed. That's where it's coming at.
But Cesar, but to that point too, right? Now you're forcing teams to innovate. Because
The
that's
whole
the
league
whole
is
thing now. Is
innovating.
because now you really have to come up with ways. And just speaking to Jen's point real quick,
And it's 30 teams.
and yet 30 teams are going to
30
really have to really
different
think out their marketing strategies. They're really
marketing.
going to have to reimagine what kind of teams what kind of clubs they really are. You know, so I think that,
If I
you
could
know,
just say this real quick
go ahead.
before, like, in a way, I feel like to go off your point, because I'm going off what you're talking about. In a way, I think divisions, as much as we hate them, will help that because it'll force teams to identify with where they're at. It'll strengthen local rivals. Like, it'll make, because technically, if there's not a league, there's conferences, and there could be a NYCFC Red Bull MLS Cup, hypothetically. There could be Orlando, Atlanta, LAFC, LA Galaxy. So I feel like in that aspect,
it all depends how the
it's a
playoff
good
aspect.
thing.
Yeah,
It does. We don't know yet, but just I feel like that will force teams to innovate and like really lean into where they're at because of the divisions. And if that's how it's gonna go, that's how it's gonna go.
That's
And
how
it
it
looks
is,
like
man.
that's how, and I feel like that's already how it is. I feel like that was part of what happened today.
Excuse me, guys. Yeah, so I mean, fellas, I guess we can start wrapping this up. I mean, there's so many pros and cons to these issues. You know, there's so many complexities, so many layers that have to be undone for this to actually work. You know, there's so many logistics that have to be worked out. You know, 2 years is going to be a long time to be working these things out, or however long, a year and a half, right? But I think that what MLS is trying to do here is trying to forge ahead in a new direction. They want to be taken seriously. There's a lot more things that they need to do to be taken 100% seriously, but I think this is going to be, at least to them, they think is a step in the right direction. And kind of have to admit, guys, this is exciting times for this team, exciting times for this league. You know, we're taking big boy steps right now, so I think that's going to be, you know, that's
we are. And I know everyone who's listening wanted to hear about the game against Charlotte. We will literally, the episode next week will be all about that, and it'll be previewing Philly. Me and Cesar, I believe, are going to be in Philadelphia. I somehow won a ticket through the lottery. Felix will be supporting live from the X.
Yep.
And yeah, man, it's a very exciting time to be an NYCFC fan, to be a part of this community. This, you know, I'm still not too excited about it, but there are benefits. So hopefully the league can take advantage of that, and then we can springboard into the next generation of MLS.
To finish it off, basically, at the end of the day, guys, I know, like I told everyone, I told Nico, I told Felix, everyone earlier, our friends, other people we're talking to, let it dwell. I understand change is very aggravating. This whole transfer window thing, this is no shocker. This division thing was a little bit of a curveball. But at the end of the day, we play our division rivals twice already in a season. So that's no change. Yeah. And it's actually cool that we're going to go and play. I don't know how they're going to do home and away each season, but we're going to play everyone
twice,
else.
I would assume just
no, that's too many games. I don't know how they're going to do it, but apparently we're going to play everyone else, you know, at least once. So that is cool. I think that's something we're missing. We've been missing for years.
Yeah.
And again, this is no shocker. We just have to brave through it when it comes to the weather. And listen, just take it how it goes. But listen, MLS is going to be that league that we've all been saying. So
yeah, man.
And
I think so. I think that's true too, guys.
One last thing. Let's pray that we beat the fucking Union, baby. Let's go.
That's for next week, guys.
The fucking Union.
That's for next week. Everyone enjoy this because and not this Sunday, next Sunday, I'm literally gonna be shitting bricks all day.
Definitely, fellas. Well, guys, it's been a great one. Definitely shouts to everybody who's made it this far.
I'll see y'all in Montreal in February.
And yes, we will be
3 feet of snow
in Montreal in February, wearing Timbs in the snow, fellas. Hey guys, I love y'all both.
Well, we're actually going to see you next week, guys.
Definitely, we see y'all next week. Everybody, take care.
Peace.
Later.